Hey fam, it's Jazz.
And I'm Jaden.
And we're coming to you live.
With the vibe.
Come join the tribe.
What tribe?
JJ Tribe.
Hey, what's good, family?
What's good, family? Today we are back with another spicy topic.
That's right.
That's right. But before we dig into the topic for tonight, let's go ahead on and give the people the disclaimer, babe.
Disclaimer. If you are a part of the He-Man Woman Hater Club
or the I Don't Need a Man Clan,
get your ass out of here.
To the left.
Be gone.
That's right. Also, if you hate accountability, this is just not going to be your show.
Yes, you are in the wrong place.
Sorry to tell you.
And also, if you are a grown-ass kid, you are in the wrong place.
That's a fact.
There's too many of them.
Whew, it's like an epidemic. Tell me about it.
More and more are coming out of the woodwork.
Man.
Day by day.
Man, yeah, we're trying to change that though.
That's right, family. We're checking YouTube Studio and it says everything is all right. It says excellent condition.
Nice. Yeah,
Feel free to pull up in the chat, family. Don't be scared. Don't be shy.
Please do. We love interacting with you guys. Let us know if you guys can hear us in the chat. And yeah, let us know you guys' thoughts on tonight's topic for sure.
Yes. What is tonight's topic?
Yes, so tonight we will be talking about the strong single mother. Now, this has been definitely a controversial topic because you know how it goes, especially in the community. You know, there are a prevalent amount of single mothers in the community for sure. And of course, you know, there's been a narrative around that, you know, where, you know, hey, the strong mothers, you know, but we also want to dig a little bit deeper into, you know, single motherhood and in our community. And recently, Taraji P. Henson was on MichelleObama's podcast, and she had some interesting things to say about being a single mother, as she is a single mother herself. So we will definitely be digging into that, and we'll also be talking about single mothers by choice.
And shout out to all the single mothers who love their kids.
That's a fact. Shout out to all the single mothers, 100%. And also, shout out to all the mothers who are not single. Shout out to all the mothers. Mother's Day here is coming soon, and it's definitely a blessing. It's a blessing to be a mother. It's a blessing to have children, right? Also, this is an adult show, so your kids, they do not have to go to bed, but they just can't be here.
You don't got to go home. Just can't stay here.
That's right. So, family, without any further ado, we are going to be digging into this spicy one tonight. And please, we're not trying to offend anyone with our opinions, but we're just giving you guys our perspective. So,
and if you're offended, be gone then.
That's fact.
Get your ass out here.
That's fact.
Your sensitive ass out.
Yeah, that's
no, we ain't playing. I say no, we ain't playing. Because we love you, family. It's all I love.
It's all I love, and honestly, sometimes before you're so quick to get offended, maybe hear out what the actual conversation is before you prejudge it, right? Before you get upset and say, forget that, you know. So, you know. But nevertheless, family, we definitely going to give you guys a married couple's perspective. We definitely going to give you guys some comedy sprinkled in there. You know, at least comedy, yes, y'all let us know. But
yeah, well, we got to give the edutainment. We got to give the education and the entertainment. Family.
That is a fact.
So don't take that personal either.
Please. Jokes are in the house.
There's some people out. Yeah, jokes are in the house. Unfortunately, there's some people out there where if they smile, that's like pulling a muscle.
Man, that's a fact.
I don't know if they smiled or if they got gas.
Woo. Right?
Some people.
That's unfortunately. But we are here to have a good time, family. So, yeah, let's have a good time together. And we definitely going to dig into this one. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead on and we're going to dig into our first video. Now, our first video, we are talking about the single mothers by choice. This is a movement that has been coming up recently. So
yes, that wasn't a typo. That wasn't an accident. You said there is a movement called Single Mothers by Choice. Family, have you heard of that? We got to slow it down and repeat that, family.
That's
Have you
right.
heard of that?
Have you guys heard of the single mothers by choice movement?
I guess there's something for everybody.
Clearly.
Yeah, we gonna get into that, family. That sounds interesting.
Oh man, that's a fact. That's a fact.
All right, let me go ahead and share the screen. Bear with us, family. Bam! Uh-oh. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
In honor of Mother's Day this Sunday, we're taking a look at a growing trend in motherhood. Women becoming single moms by choice.
Man.
Off the back. Off the
Off
rip.
the back.
Single mother by choice, family. That's not a typo.
Nope, it's not.
Oh, man.
Advancements in fertility treatments and the expansion of medical insurance coverage have made it possible for more women to have children on their own. One of our very own CBS Morning producers did just that. I spoke with her and others about creating a family with only mom at the helm.
I wish this was alcohol. Family, I wish I could start early.
It's like we gonna need a sip tonight or something.
Yeah, we like to sip. We like to sip on Saturday night. It is about to be Saturday night, family. We're in that transition. It's just coffee, family.
It's just coffee.
Black coffee, no sugar, no cream.
Hey.
That's what it is, family.
That's right. But hey, if you are drinking on something right now, let us know.
Cheers. Cheers to you.
Cheers
for me, for us, preemptive cheers.
Preemptive cheers. That's a fact. That's a fact. Hey, it's Saturday night, family.
Yeah, I'm going to need a cold one watching this. I'll make sure we're okay, because this is crazy, family. Okay, we're good. This is acid 9, acid 10, acid 11, acid 12.
Man, that's a fact. Can you rewind just a little bit?
Oh, bring it back. Yeah, for sure. Tell me where to stop.
Right. Their own.
Yeah.
One of
right
our
here?
very own CBS Morning producers did just that. I spoke with her and others about creating a family with only mom at the helm.
I had an aching to be a mother. I had a longing to be a mother.
At 40 years old, CBS News producer Wendy McNeil gave birth to her daughter Harlow. A lifelong dream so important to her that she chose to have the baby on her own.
I said to myself, in 15 to 20 years, would I be more upset that I didn't have a kid or more upset that I didn't fall in love and get married? And I was like, if I didn't have a kid, for me, I feel like my life wouldn't be as fulfilled.
She picked a donor and went through.
Wow. So
her life wouldn't be fulfilled.
So she would rather have a child than be married, than fall in love and be married. That's an interesting take.
Family, you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Where do you get these guys?
Man, I know. This must be the independent. This must be the independent woman movement right here. Like, I don't need a man for show for shit.
Yeah, right here. This is it. This is the poster right here. This is the poster right here.
For I don't need a man.
Yes.
Man.
Beautiful baby. Shout out to Harlow.
Yes.
All glory to Yah.
Yes, for sure.
All glory to God. Yeah. However,
this is I'd rather have a child than a marriage and love. It's interesting. That's
very interesting.
Would I be more upset that I didn't have a kid or more upset that I didn't fall in love and get married? And I was like, if I didn't have a kid, for me, I feel like my life wouldn't be as fulfilled.
She picked a donor and went through 3 rounds of fertility treatments. Holding Harlow in her arms is a reminder she made the right choice.
Even when she's like... Even when she's like this and gets a little fussy, I'm grateful that, like, she made me a mother and that, like, I got this opportunity.
40 years.
What do you think the baby's saying?
That's a good question.
I don't want to go down that road.
Yeah,
well, I kind of want to.
Yeah, I know. It's like, how spicy we gonna get?
Yeah. Where's Father? Where's Papa? I mean, hey, I know men are kind of, at that age, they want to be around the mom.
But eventually,
But at that age, don't they start recognizing the father's voice? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Of course. Yeah. If dad is in the picture.
I know about being an uncle now.
Yeah.
For sure. And I was involved as an uncle. helping out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Shout out to my nephews and my niece.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Kids will definitely recognize dad's voice pretty much immediately. Children start to be able to hear in the womb. So, yeah.
I read an article on that.
Yeah, yeah. So, dad could be talking to the belly, mom could be talking to the belly. So when baby is here, baby's like, oh, I know that voice. That's a familiar voice right there.
Shout out to Harlow though.
Yeah.
Shout out, but
Yeah.
no Pops though.
Yeah.
By choice?
By choice.
Okay, I get it. If he was a lame one, he was a buster.
If it just happened, right? It like
F-boy.
Or deadbeat, or maybe he passed away.
Yeah, family.
Something like that. But like you're
by choice though.
Purposely having a child to bring that child up without a father.
And thinking like she a pioneer or something. Making it seem like she changing the game. Like,
man.
I don't know. That's the way I don't know.
Yeah.
They're reporting this.
Yeah.
This is CBS Mornings. Being objective, I think. They're just reporting it.
Yeah, they're definitely reporting it for sure.
They're just reporting it.
Yeah.
So. Just like we're reporting it.
Facts.
Years ago, when New York psychotherapist Jane Mattis became pregnant, fewer women were purposely having children on their own.
I was 36, and all my friends were actually having fertility problems. And it occurred to me that I might not have this opportunity again. I was one of these people who was told a lot, you'll be such a wonderful mother.
Fertility problems. What do you think she meant by that?
Well, so she was saying that her friends were having like fertility problems. Mm-hmm. So basically maybe troubles getting pregnant.
Or troubles getting a man?
Typically that's not what people
That's not her case.
Well, no.
I'm asking questions.
No.
I'm asking.
No, I don't. Yeah, typically when people are saying that like they're having fertility issues, it's not that like I can't find a man. It's just that like when we are trying for a child, the child, we're not able.
Oh, okay. That's where she coming from. Okay, that's different than girlfriend situation.
Yeah.
She just can't get a man.
Yeah, I mean the other lady apparently, even this other lady, the guy that she did get pregnant by, didn't stay around, but she didn't have like in vitro, like where you get a sperm donor to have the kid. I don't think.
No, her situation.
Yeah. She had a sperm donor.
Yeah, she can't get a man.
Yeah.
Translation. But her, she's like more objective with it, is what you're saying. She's dealing with women who just have trouble just getting pregnant in general. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So basically she was saying that her friends around that time were having fertility issues. And she was 36 years old and she was like, you know what? I want to have a child.
Got you. Okay.
Again, I was one of these people who was told a lot, you'll be such a wonderful mother.
So she decided to have the baby, knowing his father would not be in the picture. To get the support she needed, she created her own village and started Single Mothers by Choice.
Single Mothers by Choice.
Okay, so this is where she fell off.
Mm-hmm.
According to my opinion, this is where she fell off. So she said right here, help me please, knowing the father wouldn't be in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
What is the host mean by that?
I mean, I don't know what she meant by that, but apparently, he was like, I don't want the baby. Yeah, I mean,
so
that's
he was like, I don't want the baby, but she's like, well, I'm gonna have this baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to understand her. She's like the pioneer behind this, I guess.
Well, she's the one that started the Single Mothers by Choice, thing.
So first it was to help women with their pregnancy.
No, she just brought that up.
She just brought
that up.
Okay.
I don't really know what that really had to do with this story.
She was trying to help it. Maybe that helped it. Or she just like conflate facts?
Yeah, I don't know what that had to really even do with this, because she was bringing up like how some of her friends were having fertility issues, and then she kind of went off into the fact that
next minute she had a baby.
She was going to be keeping her. Yeah, like, so I don't know.
Okay, let's just play that one more time, family. I'm just wondering what her deal is, because she's like the pioneer behind this.
Yep.
I was 36, and all my friends were actually having fertility problems. And it occurred to me that I might not have this opportunity again. I was one of these people who was told a lot, you'll be such a wonderful mother.
So she decided to have the baby, knowing his father would not be in the picture. To get the support she needed, she created.
So I guess when she was bringing up her friends having fertility issues, maybe she was saying, well, hey, because I'm getting older, let me have a kid so I don't have to deal with fertility issues. Maybe that's what she was saying.
Okay,
I don't know.
she's not Sarah's age. I mean, she's 36. I mean, it's up. I mean, yeah, that's probably a little bit up there. I mean, to have your first child, but
But
I mean,
it's
it
been
ain't
done,
too late. Yeah,
right? And it's been done before, so yeah. But
seems like a cop out. But okay, she wanted to have the baby, but the baby father didn't.
Well, according to her,
it's a little fuzzy, huh?
I mean, she wasn't gonna. She's not digging deep into that one, but according to her, he wasn't gonna be around.
I like that you said that. According to her, because we didn't hear his side of it.
Yeah.
We're objective around here, family. That's how we get down. We ask questions. That's how you tap into wisdom. Part of the question is wisdom.
That's a fact.
That one is free.
Again, I was one of these people who was told a lot, you'll be such a wonderful mother.
So she decided to have the baby, knowing his father would not be in the picture. To get the support she needed, she created her own village and started Single Mothers by Choice.
You really can't raise a child alone, but you can make sure that as a single parent, you have a lot of people in the child's life who love that child.
Over the years, that network has connected 30,000 women. Mattis attributes the growth to better fertility treatments, more inclusive medical insurance, a change in societal attitudes, and higher incomes for women. As for Mattis's son, he started his own family, making his mother a grandmother.
My genes were chosen.
Brothers Mackenzie and Cooper Schoenthaler were chosen by their mother, a doctor, more than 2 decades ago. She had them at 41 and 45 using the same donor.
Fair use, by the way, family. This is fair use.
Yes.
You too. This is transformational. Transformational.
That's right.
Do you miss not knowing who your father is?
Frankly, no. We have an amazing family and amazing family relationships. We loved our childhood. Like, we have a very caring mother. Didn't see our parents cry, and scream and throw things, and because there weren't two parents.
How has that impacted your own relationships by not seeing tension, by not seeing people work through those same things that you spoke of?
I think that I am more conflict avoidant than other people as a result, because I was raised in a household with zero conflict. Perhaps that's one of the...
Zero conflict. Zero. I'm talking zero.
Zero conflict.
He's the only family that experienced zero conflict.
Hey,
that's part of being a family, is conflict.
Drawbacks.
That was not honest.
I mean,
what family don't have conflicts?
I mean,
there's degrees of conflict, but that's part of the family. I come from a big family, so I know about it.
Yeah, I mean,
y'all always sharing things, y'all were fighting over things, arguing over things.
Yeah, I mean,
and I had more than I ever needed. Family. Shout out to my parents. Shout out to my siblings. But we had some problems now.
Yeah,
it wasn't all squeaky clean. We ain't all perfect family.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever watched Family Matters? Have you ever watched Full House?
Man. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their stuff, right? Yeah. But hey, maybe
we're talking zero conflict.
According to him, it was zero conflict, and maybe his mom wasn't a conflict person. His mom probably might have been a conflict avoidance person herself, and so maybe she never disciplined her kids. I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I mean, we come from Black households, so our parents, they gonna talk to us. They not gonna be shy.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. They're gonna let us have it.
Our parents aren't gonna be shy.
Yeah, for sure.
The brothers have few demographics.
I don't know what timeout is, family. Timeout. No.
Details about the man who contributed to their DNA, but they do have his extensive medical history. What would you ask him?
I mean, I would thank him for giving away his sperm, because I know that can be sort of just an odd thing for someone to do, especially knowing that they have potentially 10 or more kids running around the world. But I would also thank him for being tall. We're definitely appreciative of being taller than the rest of our family. He's given us nothing but genetics, and that's crucial.
Yay! For baby Harlow, she can decide if she wants to know who her donor is when she turns 18.
I know.
Until then, McNeil is prepared to tell her daughter how she got here.
I'm always going to be open and honest and transparent. She doesn't have a dad. She has a donor.
She doesn't have a dad. She has a donor.
Man, what a great conversation to have with your child.
AKA, she can't get a man. She's 40 years old, ain't got no game.
Man. Yeah, I mean, just call it like you see it. I mean, it's a fact. I mean, You really can't sugarcoat it.
I don't know how they do it. Would they just put it in there, or she said, "Doc, put it in there." No, I don't know. I don't know how. I haven't looked into that.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I want to look
yeah.
at how you can become a single mother by choice. But if you desire to become a single mother by choice,
Man.
do what you do. It's your prerogative, like Bobby Brown. All right, shall we continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I cross the line?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you're just stating the obvious, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, right.
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry.
I had her on my own. She never closed the door on finding love, just opened the one that led her to baby Harlow first.
So now you can still do that, but you have fulfilled the dream, the want, the desire to be a mom.
Yeah, and I can do it on my own terms.
Oh,
Again, she's the I don't need a man one.
that's biblical. Yeah, that's right there in 1 Hades chapter 6, verse 66.
100%.
Yes,
right
which I've never read. I don't want to read that.
Me either.
I think she's quoting that, right?
I think so.
That's on my terms.
It's on my terms, man. Because I don't need no man.
Because I'm a single mother by choice.
I don't need a man to have a baby.
Because I'm independent.
All I need is sperm.
Oh,
Man.
Darn.
Man, I'm sorry.
Oh, man. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I mean.
But do what you do.
All right, do
feel
your
me?
thing. Do your
feel me?
thing. But, man.
We are now joined by Wendy McNeil and her beautiful baby, her first live television interview. 4 months old. Wendy, thank you so much. Hi, friend.
Baby kind of like me as a baby.
No.
Jaden-esque. Jaden-esque.
Yep.
Hey, just jokes, family. Just jokes. Don't get mad, okay? Look, I can talk, okay? I'm mulatto, so let's go.
Friends for joining us. And I tell you, when I saw you a few months ago, more than a few, but you told me, that you were making this decision, and I thought we should do a story.
Yeah.
Because I've heard more and more women over the years making that decision. What was the tipping point for you? Because you talk about saying, would I be more upset?
Oh, there was no tipping point. She didn't have a tipping point. She didn't need one.
Nope. It was on her own terms.
Yes, that would require her to get a man.
Man.
No, she didn't want the tipping point.
If I didn't, have a child, but I did go for trying to get married and whatnot. But what was that tipping point?
I had an aching, a longing to be a mother. And for me, that meant doing it by any means necessary.
Beelzebub?
What'd you say?
Beelzebub. Demonic spirit? Yeah, Beelzebub.
What's that?
Beelzebub. Lord of the Flies? Yeah,
Oh.
it's a reference to demonic spirit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she said she had an aching, so my second guess was gas. But,
oh, that's a good one,
yeah.
baby. That's a good one.
And I had to get realistic about my circumstances. I mean, the fact of the matter is I was in my late 30s, and, there are certainly biological pressures that we face.
Yeah.
And
you said it was like an article too that you saw.
Yeah, and
it felt like
I basically was I had asked the universe. I was like, give me a sign that this.
She asked the universe.
That's already a red flag.
Oh yeah, that's 1 Hades chapter 6 verse 66. She asked the universe. She didn't ask the creator of the universe.
Man.
She asked the creation, not the creator.
Man.
Because she had an aching family.
it felt like
You can't make this stuff. Where do you get these guys?
I know.
And there are certainly biological pressures that we face.
Yeah.
And
you said it was like an article too that you saw.
Yeah, and
it felt like
I basically was I had asked the universe. I was like, give me a sign that this is the path that I need to take. Yeah. And the sign came in the form of this op-ed in the New York Times. It was called "Single at 38, Have That Baby." And
single at 38, have that baby. That was the sign from the universe.
That was all she needed. That was
all she needed. And she gave up.
Man, clearly.
Man, she gave up. She was like, I'm done with love.
I'm having the baby.
On my own terms. Independent style.
Because I'd rather have a baby than find love and be married.
And Harlow's expression is my expression. That's my expression. Like they're like, Mama, what is you talking about? Mama, what is you talking about? Shout out to baby Harlow. Beautiful, beautiful baby girl.
Beautiful baby, for sure.
Man.
I was like, done. And I read the story, and the woman I completely related to, and I was like, this is it. I'm going to do it.
We know that insurance played a role in this too. I mean, you had the coverage. So talk to us about that in terms of, women who are watching this or thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate that I work for an employer that, provides reproductive insurance, and I was able to do this basically almost nothing out of pocket.
Is this California? I don't know.
No,
That's a good guess, though, right? That's a good guess.
Yeah, she's a maybe California, but she's a CBS. She works for CBS. She's one of their producers.
Oh, what's that right there? Thank you. CBS morning producer. Yeah, you can tell I'm a CBS expert, family.
Nothing out of pocket, and that's not something that is extended to a lot of people.
It's a blessing. Nate and I are over making googly eyes. I gotta get a smile because Nate got a smile.
I know, she got a smile. I know.
She's doing so well.
It's that fun age right now where she's showing a little bit of personality and the smiles are coming out, and so it's a fun time.
How do you deal with the tough parts? Because it is just you.
I breathe through it.
Yeah.
And I always find gratitude. When I have the moments where it's a little tough, I will work through that, and then I'll come back to gratitude, because the fact that I was able to have her, and and it's been a pretty smooth process at this point. I always come back to gratitude.
And
AKA shout out to Satan. That's what she's saying, family. For my interpretation, that's how I interpret it. She's just saying it in a very professional way. Notice that she did not say God.
Yeah.
Notice that she did not say, I seek the scriptures, the word of God.
That's fact.
None of that. No, she seek the universe.
Man.
And herself.
I know you know this, but here at CBS, she has a bunch of cousins, uncles, aunties, grandmothers, grandfathers. This is family, so
yeah.
We're all a phone call away.
Yes, I love you guys so much. I've already had so much support from you guys. I've had conversations with each of you about parenting and asking questions, and so thank you so much, for all your support.
We're here for you, Harley.
So yeah, family.
Yeah.
Wow. Single mothers by choice. This is something I've been seeing around myself, even on social media. People, they're having donors, sperm donors, and they're just like, F it, we just gonna have a kid.
This is new to me. I'm just being honest, family. I'm gonna be honest finally for a change. I never heard of this. I didn't know this was a thing. But it doesn't surprise me. This is 2025. There's always something strange or interesting out there. So, hey, if you want to be a mother by choice, I hope that you don't. But, hey, if it all falls down, you ain't got no game. You gave up on men.
Man.
The box is trash. Okay, I think I went too far. Okay, I think I went too far.
Dang.
Okay. I don't love God. Well, tap into Satan. Satan got you.
Ooh,
but I gotta say, the baby is a blessing.
100%.
Children are a blessing. It's just unfortunate when the adults have to act. No, it's unfortunate that there are adults that act more like children than the actual children.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And our kids, they do suffer from our sins. The sins of parents are what affect our kids. They really do. So we just have to be cautious. We got to be careful the things that we're doing, because they can come back on our children. And of course, the baby was beautiful. Children are a blessing. But I think when it comes to bringing a life into the world, we have to be really, really smart and not just think about ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to think about the child. This is going to be this child's life. And we're just going to be honest. There's a reason why it takes a man and a woman to have a child. There's a reason for this, right? So just to say oh, well, I can just do this all on my own. Maybe you can, but unfortunately that child doesn't have a choice in the matter now. And now there's going to be an open place where father should be. And unfortunately, father is not there. But we're going to dig into our next clip, because we will definitely be discussing more here at the end, but we don't want to give everything away right now. So let's go ahead on. So I'm sure if you guys have been on social media, you guys have seen this clip with Taraji P. Henson on Michelle Obama's podcast. And here is what she had to say about her experience as a single mother.
Yeah. You know, I watched my mother work 2 jobs, you know, and to put food on the table and pay the rent for our little apartment, you know. And so I grew up going, that's what you have to do. You got to work however many jobs and grind hard to make it happen. I was a single mother, so I didn't have time to sit down. I remember one day, and this, like, Marcel was like 4 years old. I was so tired, I wanted to cry. Like, you know, I wouldn't wish being a single parent on my worst enemy.
She wouldn't wish being a single parent on her worst enemy. Oh.
Wow.
Straight fire.
You know that was controversial when she said that. Can you rewind that back?
Oh, yeah. Bring it back.
I wouldn't, like, you know, I wouldn't wish being a single parent on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish being a single parent on my worst enemy. Literally, because, you know, think about when you're exhausted and it's like the baby's crying, oh, can you go get him, honey? There was no honey. That I was honey. So if I worked 12 hours and I come home, honey. I was still honey. I still, if the baby's sick, everything fell on me. You know, and I just remember one day I was on the sofa and I just wanted to give up. But that's not in me either. You know, I think those thoughts, but then my ancestors go, girl, you better get up.
That's right. Family, like the video, thumbs up, comment, all the good stuff.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, please do. So what she said was pretty much the opposite of what the single mother by choice movement is saying.
Yes, complete opposite.
Yeah.
Wow. I appreciate this video that we watched. That was
keeping it real.
Yeah, keeping it a buck.
You know?
Yeah, I appreciate that by Taraji P. Henson. She kept it real, family.
Yes, 100%.
She wouldn't wish single parenthood on her worst enemy.
Yeah, I mean, she spoke about how hard it is, right? I mean, you know, you're trying to raise a child, you're trying to get some rest. And for those who have had children, I'm sure know that those first few months, you know, the baby isn't sleeping through the night. You know, you have to wake up every 4 hours, feed the baby, exhausted. And the shift is all yours. Being, you know, if you choose, or even if you didn't choose, but being a single mother is hard, you know. And I know that it seemed like, you know, it's promoted like being a single mother is just, you know, rainbows and sunshine all the time. But, you know, Taraji just keeping it real. It was hard. And she said she wouldn't wish it on her worst enemy. That lets you know, like, it must be pretty tough if you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, I mean, as an uncle, you know, I've seen it, you know, from the outside, you know. So, yeah, it's like you said, the baby's waking up in the middle of the night, and man, yeah, it's a lot.
You got to provide everything. Yeah. Like Taraji said, her mother, I'm assuming her mother was a single mother as well, because she was saying she saw her mom working 2 jobs and just, you know, doing everything she could. And so Taraji just thought, well, hey, that's just how this goes, you know. But that's where the cycle kind of can go, right? The cycle can kind of go that way. And we've seen it where there's generations of women that are all single mothers, from the grandma to the mother to the daughter. It's like, it's this cycle thing, right? Because that's what they know, that's what they've seen. And so they think that that's just the norm.
It is the norm, right? It's normal, right? Yeah, it's the new norm.
I guess if you make it normal.
Yeah, it seems normal.
You can make anything normal.
It's not meant to be normal, but yeah, it is definitely normal. It's not supposed to be, though. But unfortunately, when adults want to act more like children than their children,
man,
we have a lot of single mother households. And that's unfortunate, family. It's really unfortunate. And the host from CBS, she's going to find out. She's going to find out.
If she hasn't already. And I'm sure she has. But, you know, obviously if you're on the show, you're not going to really talk about, you know, those hard, tough times when you wish you did have a husband that was there to really help you out, you know?
Yeah, why keep it a buck? Why be honest with people?
Because you got to promote single mothers by choice.
Don't let Fast get away with a good story.
Man, yeah.
She knows about giving stories, right? She's a reporter, so don't let Fast get away with a good story.
Okay.
But yeah, it's hard life. That's hard. Wow. Well said by Taraji.
Yeah, yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, I give her much respect because honestly, she stepped out on a limb, even saying that, because nowadays it's like, if you just state the obvious, people are going to be looking at you crazy, like, what you mean? What you mean? I mean, I don't think it should be a surprise that being a single mother is hard work. You're putting everything on yourself, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's situations where you do have the grandma and the grandpa helping, and yeah, there is other people helping out. You have other siblings helping out. You have aunties and uncles helping out.
Yeah,
you know, the mothers having, you know, their brothers and sisters helping. So you do have that. Either way, raising children is a collective effort. They say it takes a village to raise a child.
That's a fact.
And yeah, there's truth in that for sure, family. It is truth in that, but it's even more harder when it's just the single mother. Yeah. And I don't know how much support that the host from CBS has. Either way, to me, her motive for being a single mother is demonic. It's straight from the pit of hell.
Yeah, 100%. You know,
because it was all about herself.
It wasn't about the child. Is my child's life going to be better for me having it?
She didn't say none of that. It's about me proving a point.
Because I need to have a kid.
Because I'm 40 years old. I'm 38. About to be, she was like 38, right?
Yep.
I think she said 38. She's 40 now, I believe.
She's 40 now. Yeah, you know, it sounded like it was just a very selfish motive. And it was a selfish motive, right? Because she didn't take anyone else into consideration, especially her own child. She did not take her own child into consideration when making the decision. All she thought about was herself. She said, well, you know what? If I can't find a man, then I'm going to have a baby so I can get that love from the baby. If we're just going to be honest.
That's you already know what's going around. That was well said. The collection plate is going around. Yes, fill it up with cash, Bitcoin, good checks. None of that bounce like a basketball.
Please, please, please.
No Jaden coins, please.
Please.
Food stamps, Section 8.
We just kidding, family.
No, we're not.
Unless you're going to do it.
Unless you're going to do it. That's a good one.
Yes. Well, babe, I do have some questions for you.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Taraji said she wouldn't wish single motherhood on her worst enemy. What does that reveal about how society glamorizes or downplays the struggles of being a single mother?
Society, the media, they lie to us. They glamorize all the wrong things, man. At least that's what it seems like. At least it seems that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. In a nutshell, that's what they do. They promote all the trash. We see it in the music. We see it in the movies. We see it in everything that we see, everything that they promote on the media. It's contrary to biblical principles.
That's right.
So, yeah, the society, they want us to be divided. They want us to hate each other. And the lady from CBS, I mean, she has a voice. She has a following. So whether she knows it or not, she signed up to be an agent against our people.
Ooh.
By promoting the gender war between the black man and the black woman that has been promoted by the media.
That's right.
The media is responsible, and we as a community are responsible for drinking the Kool-Aid. Now, I grew up on some Kool-Aid now. I grew up on some Kool-Aid. I know about Kool-Aid with a lot of sugar now. Taking the pack, put it in the baggie, put some sugar in there.
Okay.
And dip it into a sucker. Oh, yeah. I know about that, family.
Good old days, huh?
The good old days, for sure. Yes. However, she is signing up to be an agent against our people by promoting this message that, hey, if you can't get a man, if you ain't got no swag, you're not working on yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, if your box is trash, you can have a man. I mean, you can have a baby without a man.
Without a man. You don't need no man.
You can have a baby without a man.
That's what the feminist movement gone wrong. That's feminist movement gone wrong.
Yeah.
This is where it's gotten to. This is what it's gotten to. It's taking independent women to the next level. She said, look, I'm not going to work on myself. I'm not going to try to figure out why I can't get a man. I'm not going to try to work through whatever I need to be working through so that I can find somebody and settle down and get married? No. She said, forget all that. I don't want to hold no accountability for myself, okay? I don't want to figure this out. I'm going to make the selfish decision and I'm going to have a child knowing that this child is going to be worse off because they do not have a father. I don't care what nobody says. Your child is going to be worse off if their father is not in their life.
And shout out to all the strong, God-fearing mothers out there
1000%.
that is doing everything that they could. And there are exceptions. We see that just because you come from a single parent home doesn't mean that, you know, it's going to be bad for you.
100%.
We've seen examples. There's a lot of examples actually, but that does not give us a pass to raise children by ourselves. The father is important. The father is so important.
100%.
We know the mother is important, but the children need their mother and their father. It says in the 5-letter B word, B-I-B-L-E, to honor your mother and your father.
That's right.
Now, a lot of people just think that's just for the children, but that's also for the adults. Because adults, your children, they need a mother and a father to honor.
That's right.
See, people never look at it that way.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
100%. 100%.
Children, they need their mother and their father. Yes, there's different circumstances. Absolutely. We're not ignoring that.
Yeah.
But when you're going out of your way
yeah,
to be an agent,
mm-hmm.
to promote a message that divides our community,
mm-hmm.
you are doing the devil's work.
100%. 100%. And, you know, we're just going to be honest this episode. And again, we're not trying to offend anybody, but these are things that we just need to say, because if not, the community is going to continue to be destroyed. Let's just be honest. The community is going to continue to be destroyed if we are not honest with the community. If we're not saying, hey, you know what? Think twice before you decide to open your legs up to any random guy, not knowing if this person is going to be a good father and stick around in your child's life. Like, that's just something that I know it might come off harsh, but it's just the truth. And the thing is that what happens is that it starts this narrative of, well, Black women don't know how to be wives because they've never seen a man in their life, right? Which we know this is very generalized. This is a very generalized statement. However, there's some truth to it. Because if you have not grown up in the household with a man, how do you know how to be a wife? How do you learn if you've never seen it before, right? So maybe the way that you are going about trying to get a husband is completely wrong because you don't know. You didn't see your mom do it. Maybe you didn't even see your grandmother do it. So you don't know how this whole thing works. And so it continues this cycle of single motherhood because you don't know how to do it, right? So again, I think it's very important for us to just be honest, be open about it. It's not to say that you're a terrible person if you're a single mother, not at all. You know, there's so many amazing single mothers out there. I want to be clear about that. Yeah. There's amazing single mothers out there, you know. My father passed away when I was a little child. My mother was a single mother for a stint in her life, and she was amazing. She really handled her business. I mean, she got a brand new car, bought a house. I mean, she is really literally my hero. She was married shortly thereafter. However, she was on her stuff. And for that short period of time that she was a single mother, she was really on her stuff. So this is, again, not to say that because you're a single mother, you're a terrible person, you're a horrible person. None of that, right? But as I've said to you guys, my father passed away when I was younger. That means that I was 7 years old. My father passed away. That means that for the rest of my life, I did not have my father. Did that have an effect on me? Indeed, it did have an effect on me. Me not having my biological father in my life, although it was because he passed away, that made my life harder. It made my life harder, family. So let's just be honest about the situation. And let's try to figure out ways that we can make sure that our children don't have to deal with a more difficult situation. Doesn't mean that your child won't be great. Doesn't mean that you won't get through it. Of course you will. But don't you want to give your kid the best shot? Don't you want to make sure that your kid has everything available to them to be the best that they can be?
Woo! It's going around again. It's going around.
Oh,
you know what to do,
thank
family.
you, baby. Thank you.
Put your tithes, your offerings, we take tips as well. tithes, offerings, tips, all the good stuff.
Yes,
now, family.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, with question number 1, yeah, they promote women to be independent. They, especially Black women. They want Black women to be independent. Don't go for it. Don't let them cater to pride and ego. Pride and ego, that's the devil. That's the devil. We got to remove that, family. Men 100%. And women, we have to remove pride and be humble and trust in the Most High and not ourselves. Let's trust in the Most High, not what we think.
Yes. 100%. We have to trust in the Most High, family. And yeah, society, they're going to glamorize this because at the end of the day, let's just be honest. So capitalism works when there's an underclass, right? Let's just bring it up. Capitalism works when there is an underclass. And statistics show that single mothers are the lowest in economics as far as net worth goes. They have the lowest net worth, right? So if we tell you guys that, yeah, you should be a single mom, when we know that majority of single mothers are in poverty, then we're having ourselves an underclass. So the reason why they're promoting this and pushing this in the community is because they want an underclass.
Ooh. Oh, it needs to go around again.
Sorry, family.
Last time, family. 3 times the charm.
Thank you, baby.
Oh, it's one of those Jordan nights.
Man,
every night's a Jordan night, but that baby.
Sorry.
You're going for 60.
Man, sorry, family.
Yeah.
We got to go
Just
in
the Celtics.
We got to keep it real. We got to go in. We got to keep it real, family, because not because we trying to bash nobody. It's because we want to see. Well, we want to bash the idea.
Not her personally. Not the lady from CBS personally.
It's the idea. Yeah. The idea of I don't need a man. I can do it all by myself. I'm an independent woman. Well, where does it say that in the Bible? Where does it say that in the Bible? It doesn't talk about independence in the Bible. It doesn't talk about you don't need a man in the Bible. It says the exact opposite. So we need to get away from this society, what society glamorizes, because they're trying to keep you an underclass. Ooh. And we need to start reading the Bible and seeing what it says for us and how we're supposed to be living our lives. Don't look to the universe.
Red flag.
Red flag. All right, family. Sorry. I know. But hey, we gotta keep it real.
That's fine. Yeah, because we love you, family. We love you. It's all out of love.
It's all out of love. Okay, I do have another question for you, baby. Are we setting up our children to repeat the same cycles if we don't address the root causes behind single parent households?
No. We're setting them up for success. We're setting them up to be the highest class in America. Yes. We're putting them in position for generational wealth spiritual wealth and all the blessings. Nah, family. We are repeating the cycle. It's the cycle, family. And like you said, you brought up, we see a trend of our families being raised by single mothers, and it's become the normal. Mm-hmm. So we have to address it. It says, are we setting up our children to repeat the same cycles? Absolutely. Yeah, we're setting it up for them to have difficulty in their life. Yes, they can rise above that.
For sure.
However, not having a father in the house, you're repeating the same playbook that was given to us by the media, and we continue to embrace it. So as long as we continue to embrace it, we're going to repeat the same cycle of divided families, of our children having it difficult in this life. Yeah, so I'll just answer that short and sweet.
That was good, baby. That was really good. Yeah, no, I agree. You know, if we're not being honest, like, let's just say, hey, you know what? Things happen and you find yourself to be a single mother. Again, shout out to you for sure, because it took a lot of courage to keep the baby. You know, it took a lot of courage to raise the baby. It took a lot of strength, right? To say, you know what? I'm going to bring this human up if circumstances were that way and it just so happened that the father just didn't want to be in the child's life, and things happen. We understand that, right? But let's be honest with our children, right? Let's tell them, hey, this is how you don't make this mistake. This is how you, don't repeat the cycle, right? So I think sometimes it's like we don't want to admit to ourselves when maybe we didn't do something that like maybe we did something wrong, but we don't want to admit it, so we don't tell our kids. And so our kids end up repeating the cycle because we never told them anything. We never told them any different.
And that's what they saw.
And that's all
that's
they
what
saw.
They saw in the household. So
that's what they saw. And we didn't tell them, we didn't say, hey, this was hard. We didn't say this was a struggle. We didn't say, well, you know what? Yeah, I knew Ray Ray. I knew Ray Ray really wasn't the best. I seen him. He'd be liking to hang out on the street corners and stuff like that. He probably wouldn't have made the best dad. We don't tell our kids that type of stuff. And like, don't go after Ray Ray, but we should, right? We should make sure that we're teaching our kids and talking to our kids about these things. And we can't be shy, right? We're raising humans. They need real world understanding, real world like advice. We can't just sugarcoat it forever. I'm not saying tell them that when they're 5, but once they hit their teenagers, you need to start telling your children, hey, this is what you want to look for in a husband. This is what you want to look for in a wife. This is, you don't want to go after this type of guy, or you don't want to go after this type of girl. This is what you should be looking for. We got to tell our kids so that way they don't repeat the same cycles.
That's right. Beautifully said.
That's right. All right, family. Babe, I do have another question for you.
All right, let's get it.
What are the emotional costs of single motherhood that we rarely talk about? Loneliness, burnout, lack of support, and how do these affect the children involved?
Oh, that's one of those two-parters. Oh, man. Oh, two-parters. If you smell smoke, it's my brain thinking.
Yep, I was trying to hurt you on this one.
Yeah, well, I'm hurt. You hurt me now. Yeah, the gears are grinding. Yes. I would say I'll start with the first part. What are the emotional costs of single motherhood that we rarely talk about? Well, yeah, the answer is actually
in the question.
Yeah, loneliness, burnout, lack of support. Yes, I mean, I can only imagine being a single mother. I don't know what that's like. I've seen it from the outside. And yes, loneliness, yeah, absolutely. Burnout, yeah, because like what Taraji was saying, you have to be there. Like there's nobody that you can say, hey, can you watch the baby? There's no, the man, the father, hey, can you take turns, spending time with the baby. You have to be super mom. And that's very draining. It takes a lot of energy out of you, and it can mess with your mood. It can mess with your health.
For sure.
It's just it's not good to be drained like that and be exhausted. Oh yeah, sleep, forget about it. Yes, yeah. You have to just roll with what Nas says. Sleep is the cousin of death. You have to roll with that. I don't know about you. I like sleep.
Man, it's okay. Seriously,
I like sleep.
Seriously,
okay. But yes, and not having support. Not having that. In her case, a husband. The child having a father.
Yeah.
That's very draining for her, and it's going to take a lot of her time, where it's like, okay, it's work, and it's her child or it's her children, and where does she get the time to have some balance,
some me time,
some lifetime, right, some work-life balance?
Yeah,
that makes it even difficult.
Yeah,
where it's like, where can you go and and spend some, like you said, some me time, or hang out with your friends, or pursue some endeavors that you are passionate about, whether it be entrepreneurship, whether it be a hobby or a passion or a skill.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to pick up and learn another skill, or to pursue your dream, well, you can forget about that. You can forget about things that you're really passionate about, at least to a strong degree, unless you have some support around you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that we have time to pursue our endeavors, which is great.
Yeah.
And I just imagine a single mother. Oh, I mean, you have to basically sacrifice that. Like, you have to give that up because your children need your attention. They need you to be the mother, and hey, they need you to be a fill-in father, which is very difficult for a mother
to be a
mother and a father.
Yeah, it's impossible, actually.
Yeah, like how do you do that, right? That's a question. I like to know.
Yeah.
So for the mother, it's very draining. Yeah, like the whole work-life balance. I mean, that's basically out the window, and having the opportunity to pursue a dream, a passion, you can forget about that as well.
Yeah.
And for the children, it affects the children immensely. Children at times they can feel guilty for their mother. They see their mother. Women or children are like sponges. They really can like emotionally tap into their mother's emotions.
100%.
And like the children, they can see like, oh, mom is sad, mom is lonely, mom is stressed out. So they can start feeling like, okay, it's their fault. They can start like feeling like they're gonna blame themselves. And also too, you can kind of feel like it's kind of a weird thing. Now I'm gonna say this respectfully, but with some situations, especially if it's like a male child, he's like the man of the house. So in a way, it's kind of like, how can I word this? It's like, since he's the man of the house, he's kind of filling in
the husband role. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to use my word. I'm like, okay, how? So yeah, I see that, and it's very interesting, and it's not healthy.
It's not healthy.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this thing, because the reason why.
Hopefully that high five wasn't too hard.
No.
I was like, boom.
That's all good. No, it's all good, baby. Yeah, that's the thing is that when you bring a child up and it's in a single parent dynamic, the boundaries can be a little different, right? And it could possibly even hinder that child's own relationship, right? Their own, possibly if they're trying to get married, if they're trying to be in a relationship, it could possibly hinder them in that, because they feel like, well, I don't want to leave my mom behind, or, who's going to help take care of my mom, so, that's the other reason why, it should be, mom and dad, so that children don't have to feel guilty, like, okay, well, I'm, leaving, I'm getting married now, and then, so it's like, it's just one of those things, so yeah, yeah, baby. Yeah, for sure. And also to your point of burnout and lacking that time for yourself. I mean, the other alternative is your kid is at daycare all day, or your kid is with somebody else all day while you're, working 2 jobs or working, or, trying to have some me time, but then you're not spending any time with your child, right? Where we see that as well. So it's really, really hard. That's
and then the children
line.
end up growing faster than they should.
For sure, because they have to.
They have so much time on their hands,
and they have to be adults basically sooner, because, well, now that mom's not around, dad's not around, so I'm taking care of myself. I'm letting the TV raise me. So yeah, family.
Yeah, and also too with males, it can cause them to pick up habits from their mother, and I'm saying this out of respect, but like it can cause them to act out in school or in sports where they're like over emotional and out of control, and he's mouthy and challenging authority.
100%.
It can come out as a result of picking up. I'll say this: it can be a result of being angry, and they might not even really know it, but it's because they don't have their father in their home. They're acting out, but they don't know why they're acting out.
Yeah.
So I've seen that situation.
100%.
And where it's like, they might not, well, they realize it, but they might have like thought about it, like, this is why I'm mad. But they challenge authority, and they're bad in class, and they're loud and out of control and fighting everybody. And it's all about, and it's selfish when it comes to sports. Oh, I got to get the ball all the time. And part of that is, it can be from being angry that Pops is not in the house.
Yeah.
And also too, like there's that discipline Now, discipline from a mother, I know about it now. But discipline from the father now is different.
That's right.
It's different. Just the tone of the father's voice will have you crumble, will have you shaking in your boots. It's just something about the discipline from a father that is different. So,
especially for the boys.
So like when they don't have that disciplinary father, that father with structure, and that's able to teach them and discipline them and show them how to be, how to have control of their emotions and know that if you act out, there's going to be consequences and repercussions to pay. It's going to lead to that kid to be over emotional and acting out.
Yeah.
Where if he had a father, well, it's like, okay, well, you got to answer to mom and you got to answer to pops. In some cases, he's got to answer to both.
Okay.
But it's something about that discipline from a father. It just hit different. It say in the Bible, it says, I'm paraphrasing now, but feel free to get it. I believe it's in Proverbs. Follow the discipline of your father and do not forsake the teachings of your mother. The teachings of your mother, the discipline of your father.
Yes.
So that's very powerful, I believe.
Yeah.
Because it's like, mothers give the discipline, but there's something about a father, just because he's,
his father,
being a strong figure and just, stature and voice and just the way, a father carries himself. It's like, he's gonna think twice. He's gonna think twice about acting up in school or in sports.
For sure. I agree.
Where mom, he might take the butt whipping, but kind of know how to maybe,
finesse a little
finesse
bit,
mom a little bit. Mom's gonna get mad at me, but then like she's gonna like get over it, and then I'm gonna go out and play with my friends again.
100%.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Because the thing is with moms, women, we are very sensitive to our children. Obviously there's a deep connection. So like our discipline just isn't going to be the same. It's going to be pretty hard for majority of moms to really stay angry at their kids. It's going to be pretty hard for the majority of moms to really like, put our foot down in a sense. So that's why it's like, you need that male to say, nah,
Yeah, he ain't gonna go for that.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna go for that. No, you gonna obey. There's discipline around here. Yeah. Look, I didn't have you for 9 months. Your mama did.
But I'm your daddy, so you ain't gonna get that emotional thing over on me.
Not at all. No, you ain't gonna play them games with me. You ain't gonna run that on me. You ain't running that play.
That's true. It's true. Yeah, family. Okay, baby. I do have another question for you.
All right.
How does the absence of a father in the home impact a daughter's view of love, trust, and relationships with men?
Oh, this is another.
Yeah, this is another deep one.
Yes.
Tough one.
Yeah, it can cause girls to become fast. They can become fast and seeking for love
in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was thinking that. I was thinking that, but I was gonna like remix my words. Yes. I've noticed that. I have noticed that. Like, man, these women out here is fast because they don't have a father in their home. So what that does is they struggle with insecurity, and they think a sense of belonging, security, and love is by just giving it out and just sleeping around and doing things that a daughter of Zion should not be doing.
That's right.
A daughter of God should not be doing. So it can really mess with a daughter's self-esteem as well.
Yeah. Where
like the only way she feels like she can be valued is by showing her body parts and disrespecting herself. So that is a perspective. How does the absence of a father in the home impact a daughter's view of love, trust, and relationships with men? Yeah, and a father who loves God will install in her daughter that she is a child of the Most High and that she is beautiful and that she was made in God's image.
That's right.
And do not go for these games that these busters are trying to spit.
That's right.
So it can really like give the daughter like that confidence in herself, because her father is giving her that confidence. Her father is giving her that appreciation and reminding her that she is a child of God. So a daughter that has a father, she ain't gonna be gamed up by these losers, because she knows that she is valuable. She knows that she is chosen, and she has that protection.
That's right.
Because she knows that whoever I bring home to me, Father, he better act right. He better be right.
That's right.
If not, the Father's going to challenge him. The Father's going to let him have it. He's going to let him know. So a daughter who has a father who loves God, who is a protector and a provider, and not just a provider just in regards to money, but in regards to giving the daughter love, affection, appreciation, compliments, strength, discipline. It gives the daughter, it gives her that balance. It gives her that stability.
100%. Yeah, that was excellent, baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. You know, a father's supposed to be a girl's first love, a first male love, right? That's how they find out what love from a man is like, right?
I thought it was Drake, but okay. Okay, second love. The second love. The father's the second. Okay, no, go ahead.
You're silly. Yeah, but girls, that's who their first love is supposed to be as a man, right? You're supposed to see how your father loves you and how your father loves your mom. And that's supposed to set the example for how a man is supposed to love you, right? And so if you have that in your life, then you know what it looks like. But when you don't have that in your life, you don't know what that looks like. To you, like my husband said, if you're, you might be thinking, well, okay, guys pay attention to me when I'm doing sexual things with them. So that must be what that love is supposed to look like. And because she doesn't have a father, she doesn't know, right? It could also affect the trust that she has for men because, well, my dad wasn't around. And if she had a mom who told her, well, men ain't ish, and, if men, then she might not have a trust for men because she's like, well, men do bad things. My mom said men wasn't shit. And so, men must be bad, so I just think it gives girls a warped idea of what a man and a husband should be when they don't see that growing up.
Wow, that was a powerful perspective. Because you see that in our community where you hear that narrative being spread around. You hear that narrative from single mothers telling their daughter, a man, the only thing he's good, he's either a pimp or a drug dealer. And you see that especially like in the inner city, in the hoods and the projects. He's good for basically giving sex. And there is a negative view of men in our community. So that was a great point that you brought out. And yes, the daughter, it's hard for them because they haven't really seen a God-fearing man in their house. So how would they really know? How would they really experience what a God-fearing man looks like? Yeah. Other than what they would see like in TV shows so like that's another way of looking at it too. They can, be inspired by that and want to get it. So there's a choice involved too. It's not just, okay, you grew up in the projects. We're talking the Jets now. And the only men around were drug dealers, gangsters, pimps, players.
And dudes that wasn't about it.
They ain't about nothing, right? They run in the streets. So it's already a negative view towards men. However, she can make that choice to pursue a man who loves God.
For sure.
You can rise out of that.
1,000%.
You don't have to just go for
what's around you.
Yeah, in your environment. But it does make it more difficult.
It does. Because you have to get out your environment. If you do grow up in that situation and you don't see anyone on any different path, it forces you to get out of that environment for sure.
And it can cause you to it can cause daughters who haven't had a father in the house because they haven't like there's no father, in their life. So like it can cause them to have like issues with trusting men and even respecting men.
Yes, yes.
Where they're looking at men as more like an object.
That's right.
Or just, okay, you're good for for sex.
Yeah.
Or for, yeah, just for that. Yeah. So like it can cause
for sex or for paying the bills, because that's also a narrative in the community too. That whole, nowadays, let's be real, the young Miamis and the JTs of the world.
Yeah.
And how, well, I'm going to get over on the men before they get over on me. That's a narrative nowadays too.
Oh, like try to get even, try to get back.
I'm going to get over on him. So before he gets over on me and I'm going to take him for his money. That's definitely a narrative nowadays as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the loss of respect for real men.
100%. I agree. 100%. Yeah, that definitely happens. Also too, the way that this also affects young girls and also girls as they grow up and get into the age of becoming, wives, these women might be less likely to pursue trying to become a wife because, maybe they were taught just go and get an education,
Ooh,
they might have been, they might have been taught, hey, don't worry about those boys. Go out there and get your education, get that job, pursue that career, and don't think about those boys. And the thing is that that's a very different message than a lot of other cultures are telling their daughters. Because a lot of other cultures are telling their daughters, yes, pursue the education, but also pursue being a wife. They're not telling their daughters, oh yeah, don't worry about those guys over there. No, they're telling, they want their daughters to get married. So they're telling them, yeah, while you're at college, try to find a husband while you're there. Yeah. And they understand this and they know this. And that's why there could be this rift in the community sometimes when we see certain races of women, going off to college and getting married, or maybe they're getting the athletes or whatever the case may be, right? And people are like, well, why is this happening? Why does it seem like a lot of these athletes are with, this certain type of woman? And it's a strong possibility that it's because you being a Black woman may not have been taught to go to college and also pursue becoming a wife. At some point in time, and I don't think this is talked about very much in the community, but as a woman, as a young woman, in your early 20s, this definitely isn't talked about a lot, especially in our community. These are great years for you to find a husband, right? And so you should be doing that. You should be making it up in your mind. When I was 22, I realized I want to be a wife. And so I made it up in my mind that that's what I was looking for. I was looking for a husband. Unfortunately, in the community today, they're telling you you're young, go have fun, go get ran through. No. Men don't want the girl that's been ran through. I just got to be honest with you.
No.
Men do not want
the trash box. No.
That's not what men are looking for.
No.
Believe it or not. So while you may
the big
be
wide?
man, the big wide. No, they're not looking they're not looking for that. So while the culture might be telling you to go have fun, you're young, and maybe your parent is telling you, don't worry about those boys getting education. What the other races are thinking is, yeah, I'm at college and I'm going to be making sure that I lock down one of these eligible young men so I can become a wife. And that's what we, as a community of women, need to start doing as well. If no one has told you, that is your opportunity. That's a great opportune time for you to be looking for a husband. When you're young and in college, you got these young eligible men there. Maybe they haven't gotten where, their wealth together. That's
they
fine.
got their paper yet.
That's fine. You haven't either, right?
But come on now.
But you guys are building together, right? You're building together. It is harder. Let's just be honest. As we women start hard pursuing our careers, super hard, right? And we're, making all this money and, we might feel like, hey, we have it all. We're making this money. We got our 1,000,001 degrees. Okay. But the issue is you don't have the husband.
Ain't got no man.
And the thing is, and the truth of the matter is, you might have pushed off a lot of men because you came off like, I'm a go-getter, I'm all about this, that, and the third. And don't get me wrong, that's great and all, but it doesn't come off like wife material.
Yes.
I just got to be honest. We got to be honest. So, what, ladies, if you're in college, you're in your early 20s, this is an opportune time for you to go after that man that you see that's in college with you, and maybe he's pursuing some degree in something and you are too. That's the time. Y'all can grow together, build together. That's my advice.
Wow. Those were gems. You dropped gems. Wow. Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, your college years, that's a great time to get married, family. 100%. Yeah, I encourage getting married young.
Yeah.
And real quick, I just want to touch up on that question. Yes, that baby. Daughters who don't have a father in their home, they can go after the bad boys. They can go after boys who are running the streets because they find that attractive. Mm-hmm. They see that in the media, mm-hmm. and not having that structure from a father who loves God. That's their idea of an attractive man. Mm-hmm. So when good men do come around, they think he a buster. Yeah. He a lame one. That's he ain't got no game. He ain't got no emotion. When really he does. He's focused on his career. Yeah. He's focused on getting his education. Yeah. But he's also focused on building a family. Yeah. And she's looking at him like, oh, but
he doesn't got all the swag.
He don't got the newest Jordans out. Yeah. His outfit's kind of.
He's nerdy.
And it might be kind of true. I ain't gonna lie. There might be some truth in that because there's some, there's some guys out there. They about their money to come. They're about their future, and they might not dress the best. They might not speak the best because for men, like I guess the way how we know how to work it right is with our tongue. Uh-huh. Well,
let him know, baby. Let him know.
The jokes are free. They're on the house. If you know what I meant, you know what I meant. What I was trying to say, our superpower is our tongue, our words.
That's right. Let them know, baby.
I'm going to walk off the set for that one. I'm going to repent. I'll be right back. I didn't mean that.
Yes, men, listen up. Your game is in your tongue. No.
Bam! Oh, man. Oh, I'm super light skinned. You guys will see me blush.
It's all right, baby.
That's right. Yes. We have other superpowers as well. Okay, all right. So yes. Yeah, our gift of gab. Our gift of gab is our superpower. And getting that paper is our superpower. But yeah, the guy who's focused on his career, he might not got the gift of gab. Mm-hmm. He might not have the game or the confidence, or the outfit or the newest Jordans, or maybe his haircut is not the best. Like he ain't lined up properly. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wears big old glasses, that look like binoculars. He might be a little short. I mean, he might be slightly taller than you. He might barely got you. You probably got him. You can't wear heels around him.
Or you just be a little bit taller.
He gotta do this in the photos. The quote unquote
bad boy,
right, that you think is attractive, but
he ain't about nothing though.
Yeah, is that the type of man that's gonna build a future? Is that the type of man that's gonna be there for you? That's gonna be a father. That's going to be a husband. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And yes. So like daughters who don't have a father, they could fall for that trap where they push away all the good men and they date all the bad men.
That's right. That's a fact. Yes. We do see that a lot. Wow, baby. Okay. I do have another question for you. With positive male role models, are young boys more likely to follow the examples? Okay, sorry. I meant without positive male role models, are young boys more likely to follow the examples of rappers, influencers, or even gang members over other men?
Absolutely. Because that's what they see around them. That's what we see in our communities. So-called communities, quote unquote. We're working on the community part, the unity part. We're getting it together, kind of, sort of, allegedly. Yes. So without positive male role models, yes, young boys, they imitate the bad boys. They imitate the rappers. They imitate the gangsters. And to a certain degree, it can be somewhat of a father figure type of structure. They probably get that in the streets. There's a degree of that where you get a degree of family.
Yeah.
And even maybe a degree of fatherhood. You get it in the streets because you didn't get it at home.
Oh, yeah.
So, because like with gangs, it's a gang, but there is a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
There is a sense of family. That's what a gang is a family. That's what they call themselves. They call themselves family.
Yeah, yeah, it's facts.
So there is a degree of structure, especially when it comes to like masculine influence.
Yeah.
Which, you know, young boys are going to find captivating. And I mean, and to a certain degree it is, you know, I ain't gonna lie. Cause you know, the rappers, they do like give off like a certain confidence and same with gang members and being in the, like living in the inner city and you're seeing drug dealers and you're seeing like, man, like I could be wearing chains like that. I could be dressing like that. I could be driving that fly car right there.
Yeah. Oh,
I could be pulling the women like there. Like, so it's like, yeah, I want that. Like, I want what he want. Like,
yeah.
And like he could like, and they could put you on where like you feel like you're getting that sense of belonging from other male figures that you would not get from your father.
Yeah.
So there is that temptation for young boys to want to go after that.
100%, baby. I agree fully. You know, men who, you know, don't have their father in the household with them, it can lead them to be influenced by, you know, rappers, the people who they see on TV, or gang members, local gang members in their community, because they're looking for that male figure and they haven't seen it at home. So they're searching elsewhere for it. Right. And as we know, what's promoted in our community, you know, they're always going to promote the rapper to us. They're going to promote the entertainer to us, the sports figure to us. And while I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that, I think that we lose the balance in the community because we're constantly just pushing that one side of things, which is the rapper, the entertainer, the sports figure, but we're not pushing the scholar. We're not pushing the entrepreneur. We're not even pushing the man that's, you know, got a trade degree or, you know, got his trade going on and, you know, maybe he's an electrician or something like that. And we don't see that being pushed a lot, you know, in the community. It's very one-sided. And to be honest with you, you know, a lot of the entertainers, the rappers, and so on, you know, a lot of those, you know, they get put on the forefront, but a lot of them come from, you know, broken families. You know, they came from an environment where, you know, they were in the hood as well. So like, yeah, they got some money now, but, you know, you see some of these choices that they make and you can see that they're not the greatest choices, right? Yeah. And so really and truly, they're not our leaders. They're not the leaders of the community. They're the entertainers of the community, you know? And unfortunately, you can be both. You can be both. But a lot of the times, you know, we're just going to let the entertainers be the entertainers, right? And let's let, you know, the leaders be the leaders, right? I mean, I think that unfortunately in our communities, the lines blur a lot. Whereas like in other communities, you don't really see them putting their entertainers as their leaders. But in our community,
you don't see that in ours. Yeah, that's intentional too. They do that. Yeah, they want to keep us at the bottom, like you were mentioning earlier, and it's working. But we're going for it. Facts,
baby, facts. So yeah, I just think it's important for us, and you know, for the young men out there, you know, try to get out. You know, if you're in an environment where you don't see a lot of people, this could apply to women as well. If you're in an environment where you don't see a lot of people doing things that you feel like are going to be best, right? They're not, you know, striving to be better. They're not, you know, doing something in their life that's productive. You know, if you're, you know, the area that you're living in, you know, maybe a lot of the people, you know, they're doing things that, you know, are illegal, you know, they're not necessarily supposed to be doing. try to get out of that area, you know,
Yeah.
whether it be, hey, maybe you got to take the bus, you know, to a different side of town, and hey, stop by the library or go to school.
Spend
you
some
know,
more time on social media, or connect with like-minded or higher level people.
Yeah,
higher
yeah.
level thinking people.
For
you know?
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
we live in the internet age,
Yeah.
right? So you can go on these different groups, right? They got the different discords and
Oh yeah.
you know, YouTube channels for people who, you know, think differently, right? But just try to get out from around the stuff that you see that you know is not good, right?
Yes, yes. I also want to touch up on that question.
Yeah, baby.
That I was blessed to have my mother and my father, and both of them are my heroes.
Yeah.
And like my father, like to this day, is my hero. Like he's super cool. Like so like
Yes.
a young boy who doesn't have their father, they're gonna find the rapper, the gang member, the drug dealer, the athlete to be cool. But
yeah,
a boy who has their father is cool.
Yeah,
Father
right.
is superhero.
That's right.
Like he is like dad is the coolest, the strongest, the smartest.
That's right.
So like having that is an advantage for young boys. They're
100%.
going to look up to their dad. And to this day I look up to my mom and my dad.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's a real advantage.
It is.
Yes.
1000%. Yes. Yeah. So family, this is why it's so important that we don't push this narrative of single mothers by choice.
I wonder if there's gonna be a single fathers by choice movie. Is that possible? Well, I mean, anything's possible now.
Right,
Anything's possible.
It's possible.
They're gonna have women just.
It's possible. I don't think it's
going through the 9 months.
Huh?
You're gonna have women just go through the 9 months.
Well, you can always adopt a child too. You know, there are children in the.
I'm talking like fathers by choice movie though. I wonder if
like where they're like taking their sperm and impregnating.
Yeah, there's women's going. No, I don't know, fam. I'm just throwing a crazy idea because this is a crazy topic that we're covering. So I wonder what's the next crazy idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are certain segments of the population that are men that do that, right?
I'm gonna be a single father.
Usually
by choice.
Usually in the gay community, we might see that, right? But as far as like the your average everyday straight male, I don't necessarily seeing a straight male wanting to be like
single father. Though.
Yeah, I want to be a single father. I don't see majority of straight males wanting to do that.
Talk about no game. That's an integer. That's negative game. Like
man. Yeah. Well, baby, any final thoughts?
Yes. If you are a single woman, I encourage you to seek a husband. Yes. Put yourself in a position to be hollered at.
Yes.
Put yourself in a position to have men pursue you and hey, don't give up. I know it may seem like there's a lot of bumbleclots out there, and I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of bumbleclots out there.
But there's also a lot of good guys out there.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna just be negative and just pound on that negativity.
There's a lot of good guys out there.
But why say there's a lot of good guys out there?
But they might not have the best swag, and that's okay.
Work with them. Like, okay, they might be a 6.0. Okay, it might be a 7. Okay, but we can work with that 7.
They might be 5'5", but it is okay.
I mean, you might have him by an inch or two. Okay,
but he's a good guy, and he's gonna take care of the family.
But if you measure his heart, he's 7 feet tall.
That's right. And
his pockets. Oh yeah. He's Yao Ming.
They're gonna be long and strong. Okay?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, you might want to grade on a curve. I'm not saying completely just get rid of your standards. Now keep your standards, but you might want to just grade on a curve a little bit. So that's what I encourage women to do, and same for men too. Like, because you got men out there that are going for what they think they should be going for, and that's women that are just focused on their body parts, but spiritually, mentally, they're not there. there's nobody home, I encourage men to go after women who that hey, they have balance. They have balance. They want to be a mother. They want to be a wife, and you don't want to go for the thought. You don't want to go for the OnlyFans type of woman. And
Yes.
yeah. You don't want to go for that, family. Not you can end up like some of these celebrities where
and they'll be on our channel.
we'll be covering you.
Yep.
You might be next.
You might be next.
Yes.
And you don't want to be, so
yeah, I don't want you to be. Well, yeah, I don't want you to be. I promise.
Unless you're gonna do it.
Yeah, make you swear, hand behind the back. Wink, wink.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my final words. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Single women, get married, have children.
Please.
The biblical way.
The biblical way. Get married and then have children.
Yes.
I agree, baby. Yeah. Single women out there. Hey, no matter what they're telling you out here in the media, all these dudes ain't ish. The issue is a lot of women are going after the same men. Let's just be honest. Every woman, every time you go on every time you listen to one of these YouTube videos, Instagram, they want a 6-figure nigga. They want, I want him to be 6 feet tall with 6 figures and a 6-pack. You want all the sixes. Listen, that stuff does not matter. What matters is he a good man? Is he a God-fearing man? Okay? Is he willing to get out here and work and put some effort in? Was he raised by people who are also have good standards for him? Did he grow up with his father in his life? These are different things that you can look for in a man to tell you if this is going to be a good man for you. If you're just looking at the superficial, mind you, we're women, right? And I think that, especially in our community, the Black community, we women, we look at a lot of the superficial stuff. And I heard someplace that that's kind of a masculine trait. And I kind of agree. Men are supposed to be the visual ones. Women, we're supposed to be the ones that are thinking about the long-term future for our children. Why are we so focused on, well, he don't got the newest Jordans on. Girl, he can get the Jordans later. Is he a good man? Like, is he good? Is he going to actually protect and provide for you? Is he going to support you and lift your family up, right? Like, as women, these are the things we should be looking at. We're not supposed to be the visual ones. We're supposed to be the ones that's like, no, this is going to make a good husband and this is going to make a good dad for my children. And so we need to get back to that, ladies. Let's get back to, and I get it, maybe, you didn't hear that from nobody. Nobody told you about this. Nobody told you the qualities to look for in a man. But let me be the one to tell you, if no one has told you, look for a God-fearing man. Look for a man that's motivated to do something for himself. He's a hard worker. You see him, there's something that he's doing, that he's pursuing, that he has a passion about. He, possibly, preferably, but even if not, but preferably he had his father in his life. Preferably his father was married to his mother. Preferably he wants, when you talk to him, he wants to get married. These are good conversations to have. See what his mindset is about marriage. What is his mindset around children, right? If he seems like the type of person that wants to avoid commitment, this is not going to be a good person to go after and pursue. If he didn't really have a good relationship with his father, it doesn't mean that he's not going to be a good husband, because he could change, right? But, just pay attention, right? Pay attention, talk to him, see how he's moving, see how he's acting. These are things to look for in a man. As far as if he has the brand new Jordans on, or, if he's got the brand new, nice new car, those are things that y'all can build together. Look for the intangible stuff. Look for the stuff that is not appearance based. And that's what I would say. Ladies, let's look for husbands. When we're pursuing our career, or if we're pursuing our career, let's also pursue our husbands.
Whew. On that beautiful high note, let's sign off.
Yes, indeed. All right, family. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Please feel free to let us know your thoughts on this very controversial topic. We promise we were not trying to throw shade at nobody.
No.
We just, we're passionate about these things. These are things that me and my husband really care about. We care about the community. We do want to see families be great again in our community. We want to see, that nuclear family again. It's a beautiful thing, and it truly will help the community as a whole. So just know that when we say these things, if they come off a little harsh, it's all out of love. It's that quote unquote tough love, I guess you could say. But we do love you guys, family.
That's right, family. We love you. And before we leave, make sure that you like, you share, you subscribe, and comment.
Yes, family. Please do. And until next time, it's Jazz.
And I'm Jaden.
Peace.